and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Bulldog Show. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Law and Parks Yoga. And remember, all the platforms that we got. We're on all kinds of platforms. Check them out. Well, my governor's poll, it has been released. We've emailed it out. We've posted it. And it's looking pretty good for yours truly. Bottom line, though, this race is up for grabs. It's anybody's. At least it's in the top 5, which includes me, yours truly. Actually, really top 4, which includes me. Charles McConnell, former FBI guy involved in the Russian hoax against Trump, is now being prosecuted because he committed treason. He took money from Russian oligarchs. You can't make this up. What do I say over and over again? These people in our high positions in our government, they cannot resist the money from China and Russia. Folks, if China offered me today $1 billion, and I could get away with it, I wouldn't take it. Russia, same thing. These people have no honor. They would rather die rich and with dishonor. It's disgusting. By the way, treason is the crime of attacking a state authority to which one owes allegiance. You all know what treason is. Treason is going on en masse in Washington, D.C. Biden, Hunter, Schiff, all of them. It's disgusting. Antifa versus white supremacy. You know, I was watching Tucker last night. He focused on this early. And it's the truth. We don't know anything about Antifa. Yet they're allowed to go into a place like Atlanta, burn, do whatever the hell they want, and we don't hear from LeBron. We don't hear from the American Communist 10. We don't hear from anybody. It's always white supremacy. You know what? There isn't white supremacy. I'm not a white supremacist. You're not right. The only white supremacy in this country is the Ku Klux Klan and some other groups. Guess what? They're not doing what Antifa's doing. We don't know who they are, who's their leadership. Look at where they get their money. You don't think George Soros is giving money? That is a criminal RICO violation. It's unbelievable. 14%, only 14% of Americans support amnesty now for illegal aliens. Wow, has that changed? Why? Their eyes have been opened. Soros has given $40 million to prosecutors who don't want to prosecute. By the way, folks, do you know how the system's supposed to work? The prosecutor is supposed to be prosecuting criminals. The defense attorneys defend them. And in that mix of things, some justice comes about with the judge as the referee. When the prosecutor is on the side of the defense, what the hell do you think's going to happen? What's happened in all of our major cities. Here is a document, there is a document, everywhere a document. We got Senate documents, Vice President. There's documents all over. God only knows where else there's documents. And we do not have documentation of who's visited the place, which means they're all out there. And you don't think Hunter Biden hasn't sold this information, given up this information? This guy right here is the worst president in the history of this country, is a traitor, is a political gangster. He needs to go to jail. We'll see if he does. Yearly COVID vaccine, they're now saying. We got add that to the equation. Yearly COVID vaccine. Not me, not in my life. 200 million people in Pakistan without electricity. My first thought, I feel for the people. They're not our friends. I just hope Durrani is without electricity because he's over there in Lahore. I hope he's out. Remember Madison Brooks. Folks, if you ever, every once in a while, I read the obituaries, local, and it'll just stir me. Dominic dying just hits me in the gut. Camby Thomas recently passing away, just hits me in the gut. And then sometimes the national news hits me in the guts. Those young people in Idaho butchered. This young woman, and by the way, I wouldn't care if she was fat and ugly. I would not. But it is impossible not to look at little Madison Brooks here and look at her and say, look at this little beautiful, sweet angel. And I went and I scrolled and I checked her out. This wonderful LSU student, great family, great gal, is raped and murdered by these freaking thugs. Sick. Guess who we don't hear from? Don't hear from LeBron James. We don't hear from all them. You know, can you imagine if that girl, Maddie Brooks, was black and these were all white guys? Can you imagine the outrage? Oh, we'd hear from Sharpton. You know, we'd hear from all of them. We'd hear from the Cochran firm. Yeah, we'd hear from Fanon Rucker. We'd hear from all of them, wouldn't we? Yeah. It is just a gut punch to think that that angel got treated that way. It's disgusting. Democratic committee, you can't make this up. Adam Schiff, Eric Swalwell getting off their committees and they're saying, well, this is just political vengeance. No kidding, Jack Wagons.
You jackwagon?
There's allowed to be political vengeance. Think about this. Nancy Pelosi would not place on the impeachment committee, not the impeachment committee, the you-know-what committee, who the Republicans chose, Jim Jordan and company, to be on the committee. And yet they act like, well, we need to be on this committee. Swalwell, bang, 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 bang. Adam Schiff. Look at how Adam Schiff has lied. These people are on the intelligence. Think about the information these people get. Eric Swalwell sleeping with a spy. But it cracks me up. No. Up next, local news. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to Bulldog TV Local News. Remember, immediately following this will be Jamie Spinley in World News. I told him yesterday to stick to World News. He does American news sometimes. He's an Brit. We got to get him in line, keep him in line. Top story yesterday, Hamilton County Sheriff Charmaine McGuffey is trying to clarify communication that went out over the weekend. The office issued a request Sunday asking officers only to bring suspects to the jail between 11 and 6 a.m. time frame. Somewhere along the line, as the public message released, someone attached the word closed to the communication. Apparently, the jail was never closed. But word went out that the jail was closed. Criminals everywhere were going, hey, man, the jail's closed. Unbelievable. Long crime. Daniel Beckford was arrested for firing multiple shots at a Reading Road strip mall yesterday. I hate to, pictures speak 1,000 words, okay? I don't mean people can't help how they look. But you ever notice, Sabrina, that the photographs we put up of these criminals, they look like criminals. Creepy. They look creepy. They look like something's wrong with them. Beckford arrived in the parking lot with a handgun and started shooting toward businesses and walking around. He fired multiple shots and eventually fired shots into Tokyo Foods on the strip. Beckford told an officer he was present in Tokyo and Tokyo Foods was out of compliance. So you go shoot them up. Leaders at St. Boniface Church in Northside are devastated after vandals defaced their 100-year-old building. Despicable. They spray painted the doors and are responsible more $1,000 in damages. Church leaders are concerned about coming up with $1,000 from their already stretched budgets. If you can't get the $1,000, text me, 859-250-2527, Eric at ericdeters.com. Unbelievable. In local news, Cincinnati-based Kroger's is facing a class action lawsuit filed by hundreds of their employees. Documents claim employees have experienced major payroll problems for months. Apparently, the problem started in 2022 when Kroger introduced a new payroll system. Now, I want to tell you something. You've heard me say this before. I've never missed a payroll, but woo! I've been close a few times. I've delayed my payroll over the last 15, 20 years, 3 times a day. But, you'd expect that from the Bulldog, right? How does Kroger got a payroll problem? Unbelievable. The Federal Trade Commission has ordered a Kenwood. When's our next payroll, Sabrina?
I keep track.
The Federal Trade Commission has ordered a Kenwood LASIK surgery group to pay $1.25 million fine. LCA Vision is accused of using deceptive bait and switch advertising to promote their surgery center. The company advertised a $300 fee for LASIK eye surgery that typically costs about $2,000 per eye. Only about 1% of customers ended up qualifying for the too good to be true $300 price tag. By the way, the reason why my payroll is so high is I can never fire anybody. I have trouble with that. I'm not like, what's that guy used to be called? Chainsaw something or other. The Cincinnati Museum Center is jumping in to celebrate the recent Bengals victory. Woo! You know what? I'm sorry. I'm all about the community getting excited, but it gets old with some of the stuff people come up trying to use the Bengals. The museum announced they'll take $1 off for every point the Bengals scored over the Bills. Whee! Tax experts are warning by the way, Tricia Mackey, Cherie, and Mike, and all them, Tanya O'Rourke, doesn't give you the news like this, do they? Know it's boring. Spread the word. Tax experts are warning tri-state families their tax refunds will likely be smaller this year. Ouch. The number of eligible deductions you can apply for are cut significantly this year. Also, last year there was an available credit for $3,600 for each child. This year the credit returns to only $2,000. And Kentucky state news. Fires more affordable Kentucky in most states. Yeah, right. Ranked 16th best in cost of household energy expenditures. Tell that to the people. Kentucky does rank 49th in environmental impact. Only West Virginia was ranked lower. Kentucky's almost last in everything. That's why I'm running for governor. It's not funny. Ohio State news. Stone Foltz was, I like that name, was a 20-year-old sophomore attending Bowling Green. He suffered from alcohol poisoning from a fraternity pledge. Sad. Look at that, young man. Recently awarded $2.9 million for the frat hazing, largest payout in state history for hazing. So sad. I like that name, Stone. By the way, my daughters would not name their son. I wanted him to be named Thunder Rock. A kid named Thunder Rock would be a great linebacker, right? They wouldn't do it. Bengals are 1.5 favorite to beat the Chiefs. Woo! This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Jamie Spin, Anchorman, I'm not going to tell you some of his other nicknames, he'd be offended, is up next for World News. I hope he sticks to World News today.
Hello, I hope everybody is doing well. Today's news. A huge iceberg the size of London has broken off the 150-meter thick brunt ice shelf in Antarctica. The iceberg broke free last night. All I can say is global warming. Unbelievable what's going on in California. 7 more people killed in a mass shooting in the coastal city of Half Moon Bay. The victims were all Chinese-American farm workers. The suspect has been arrested. Several Ukrainian officials have resigned as President Zelensky begins a shake-up of his personnel across the government. North Korea is experiencing extreme weather conditions as a cold wave sweeps through the country. Temperatures are likely to dip below -30 Celsius. South Korea and northern China have also been experiencing record low temperatures. And in sports, Tottenham Hotspur beat Fulham 1-0 in the EPL, with the only goal coming from Harry Kane, who equalled Jimmy Greaves' goal-scoring record with 266 goals for the club. Have a great day, folks. Catch you all tomorrow. Cheers.